Hey guys, this is Camfrey15. I am back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with some more Clippers game recap. One, I guess you can say sorry for getting this video up later than usual. I didn't decide to do the recording the night after the game, and then two, I had class and everything, so I had to take care of my personal stuff. But hey, I'm here to talk some Clippers. And this has been a while since I talked the Clippers. Now, also, too, if you're wondering why I didn't talk Clippers, because obviously the Rondo debut for the Clippers on Sunday. Fun fact is, I actually went to an Angels game. So the moment the Clippers game was over with, I literally drove to Anaheim to go catch the Angels game later that night. So I had no intentions of doing the Laker game versus Clippers recap and stuff like that. But I'm here to talk about our Clippers beating the Portland Trail Blazers, dominating them in an effort of the score of 133 to 116. And lo and behold, our Clippers got the job done against the Portland Trail Blazers yet again. And we really, and I mean really, took it to the Blazers. Like, when you start off this game, going 9 for 9, this game just showed, like, okay, the Clippers were hitting on all cylinders. They're not playing around. They were playing some really, stingent defense in that first half. Well, really till the Trailblazers went on that 30-11 run to end the half. But they were playing some very stingent defense up to that point. And then, even though Portland was doing everything it could in the second half to try to come back and take the lead, the Clippers just didn't allow that to happen. And then two, you can probably thank Paul George for getting off to a very hot start, as well as Reggie Jackson had another good game, even though I do think his minutes should start to be decreased. But hey, we'll see how that's going. I'll talk about the rotations later in this video. But let's get to the statistics for, obviously, first the Portland Trail Blazers, and then we'll get into our Clippers statistics. Robert Covington had 15 points, 6 of 13 from the field, hit 2 of 3-point shots, had 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Norman Powell, the recent trade acquisition, had 32 points, 8 of 18 from the field, 2 threes, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Enes Kanter had 13 points, 15 rebounds. In that first half, he was getting some offensive rebounds, no lie, and it was starting to really tick me off. He was 5 of 8 from the field with 1 assist. Damian Lillard, who, good God. Can I just say this? I don't know if it's just me, but ever since Kawhi Leonard and Paul George has come to the Clippers, for some reason, every time we play the Portland Trailblazers, but when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George got here, we just lock up Damian Lillard. Like, this guy cannot get it going, like, at all. He gets locked up. You can thank the presence of Patrick Beverley being an irritant in that, stingent way, and then the way that the game plan we always have for the Trailblazers, and essentially, our game plan is get the ball out of Damian Lillard's hand by trapping him. And hold on a second, guys. Okay, sorry for that interruption. As I was saying, ever since they got here, for some reason, we do a good job at getting Damian Lillard his ball out of the hands. And to be honest, we even do, surprisingly, a really good job off ball on him as well. We make sure he does not go anywhere, which it's like, okay, why can't we not do this to other teams that have guards that are just very stingent? Like, why don't we do this to a Kyrie? Why don't we do this to, a Steph Curry and other very talented guards? But for Damian Lillard, it's like, oh no, we got to get that guy the ball out of his fucking hands. We got to get that dude, like, away out of the offense. And you can clearly see, because CJ McCollum and Norman Powell, CJ McCollum had 24 points, Norman Powell had 32. If Damian Lillard's actually hitting shots on all cylinders, the Trailblazers might have actually came back and might have actually upset the Clippers. And at a point, it would be like a massive comeback for them, because at that time, at some point in the second quarter, they were down 62 to 36, I believe. You know, and it's like, we did a really good job. And essentially the game plan was, okay, if anybody else wants to do anything like a Norman Powell or CJ McCollum, fine. I could care less. Damian Lillard, do not get that guy started, because we all know what Damian Lillard's about. But again, you know, this is why some people pull out to believe that Damian Lillard, he's a talented special player, but he can't take his team over the top because a stat line like this, when he's literally non-existent and he can't do anything to help the team out, and stuff like that. So Damian Lillard, trust me, I'm just gonna say this: if we end up playing the Portland Trailblazers in the first round, I'm not gonna say that's gonna be an easy series win for the Clippers. It's definitely gonna be challenging, because of the shooters Portland has. The only reason why I think it's probably like maybe a 4-1 series type of thing going on, a gentleman's sweep, to be honest, is the fact that we play Portland really good on defense, and especially Damian Lillard. And I honestly do believe, and I honestly do feel like Portland, that's not a good matchup for them if they play the Clippers in the playoffs. Like, that's not a good matchup. That's probably like one of their worst, you know, playoff matchups they could get, because we just frustrate them and we literally get up into them. And for some reason, like I said earlier, we play defense on Portland like we should be playing every other damn team. Okay. Like I said, CJ McCollum was the only other dude outside of Norman Powell who was doing good. 24 points, 9 of 15 from the field, hit 2 3-pointers, 6 assists and 3 rebounds. Carmelo Anthony only had 8 points. He didn't really much do anything. Like, same thing like Harry Giles, Derek Jones Jr.'s. He didn't do much of anything, and that's kind of it. We really kind of shut down the Blazers offense, to be honest. Like, they didn't do much. Like, yes, they were getting back in the game to make the game a little bit more competitive and have probably all Clipper fans worried from the standpoint, will they do this? Because it's always a thing with the Clippers. They can't hold on to these 20-plus point leads and stuff like that. But we got to also notice, I got to say, I will also notice, you know, to the credit, the Clippers were shooting from, you know, literally, like, from the first quarter, like, abnormally high. Like, that was, I said it in a tweet, if you follow me on Twitter. I said that was, like, an extremely, like, crazy, you know, best quarter ever in the Clippers, by the Clippers this season. That was abnormally, and I was like, okay, the percentages are probably going to drop soon, where we're not hitting shots. And, you know, when Portland went on a 30-11 run, that's what happened. The shots just didn't go in. So I can understand that, you know, the Clippers let them back in the game. At the same time, you can say they shouldn't be letting them back in the game. But again, we can't control shots and stuff like that. But the Clippers, for the most part, led the entire game. And again, like I said, credit to their defense and stuff like that. Now, Usage Nurkic didn't play. So you could say that as well, but even with Nurkic not playing, we still probably would have handled this team. Now, in terms of our teams, Kawhi Leonard, he had 29 points, a quiet 29, might I add. 10 of 18 from the field, 1 3-pointer, had 12 assists, so he had a double-double. Had 12 rebounds. So he had a double-double tonight, and 7 assists. Again, Kawhi just doing Kawhi things, and it was getting worried to the point where it's like, okay, Kawhi early in this game picked up 2 quick fouls, but then, like I said, thanks to Paul George, who we'll get into later, he kind of picked up the slack, because if not for Paul George's performance, as well as even Reggie Jackson's performance, who knows what the score could end up being. Marcus Morris Sr., he didn't really do much this game compared to the Laker game. He had an off night tonight, only had 5 points, 2 of 7 from the field, only hit 1 of his 3-point shots. 4 rebounds. Look, it was an outlier game for him. Fine. He had a coming out party on Easter Sunday against his brother. Zubac, who continues to be great in the starting lineup, had 11 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Again, I have forever say my piece on Zubac being the main starter in this lineup going forward from this point on, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. He needs to stay the starter. When Serge comes back from whatever injury he got right now, keep Zubac in the starting center spot because the team gets off to a good start with him there, and because he's got the familiarity. Patrick Beverley, who finally made his return. This guy has not played a game in a month. The last game he played was March 11th. It's about time he played a game. He was eight. He had 8 points, 2 of 7 from the field, hit 2 3-pointers, had 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Listen, Patrick Beverley, he brought his defensive intensity. Clearly, you can see that the team plays much better with him. Now, in terms of starting, I don't mind Patrick Beverley starting games off, and then you bring Rondo off the bench. That's fine with me. Really, the whole thing with Rondo is, yes, he's going to get playing time, but he's really going to be playing in those key moments when, obviously it's late game situation. So yeah, Patrick Beverley, fine. As long as he doesn't get hurt for the rest of the season, and I'll forever hold my peace on that one. And also, knock on wood, he doesn't get hurt anytime soon, till Jesus next year, when I'm guessing his time will eventually be up the Clippers. We'll see how that whole thing will work out. So yeah, Paul George, again, obviously he's the MVP of this game. He started, literally like firing on all cylinders. Like in the first quarter, I think he had 22 points, and it's like this dude was hitting step backs, like fadeaways. I'm like, Paul George, this is the Paul George I need to see in the playoffs. We can get this Paul George. My God. I'm sorry, but it's going to be hard to stop this team, even with our bad playoff history. He was 36 points, 11 from 18 from the field, hit 6 of his 9 3-point shots, had 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Hey, look, Paul George came out, he balled today. I said he balled especially today. He played like a man possessed, because if you didn't know, yesterday he made a comment on Kat's post, a funny, nice little joke with Kat of Kat getting the vaccine for obviously the virus, and he said, "Oh, I heard your foot would shrink if you take that," and somebody took it offensively and stuff. And your typical Paul George haters that come out of the woodworks that just only come out to see this motherfucker fail. Like, dudes, you got better things in life to do than just actively try to troll a professional athlete just to see him fail. Like, listen, I'm not gonna lie. When we need him most, does he show up sometimes? No. And right now he's like the one Clipper, other than mostly the other guys, that I'm like, okay, dude, we got everything. The team's in set. I need you to step up when it's time to come for the playoffs. He's my first guy on the list of guys that I need to see step up and have a better playoff performance than he did last year. Even though I thought he was solid in the playoffs, not what I wanted to see, but I thought he was solid. But to see all these people just openly want to see him fail, it's really disgusting. It really is. I'm gonna be honest, it's really disgusting. I do not condone people who actively want to see a player, a genuinely nice guy, a guy who's respectful to most of the fan base and most of the NBA community, very much, treated right. And again, some of those players also think he's a soft-minded person, but again, fine. Like I said, Paul George can shut up all the haters, like I said, if the Clippers win a championship this year, and he does a really good job in the playoffs. So we'll just see when the time comes. Nicholas Batum, just like Marcus Morris, only had 5 points. His defense was really good regardless. I did like what we got from him. Patrick Patterson, same thing like Batum and Marcus Morris, 5 points. I know in my Clipper circle, a lot of people were wondering after Boogie signed that Patrick Patterson minutes would be done. Well, it seems like in this game it wasn't. Now, I'm not going to lie. He gave us some pretty productive minutes in this game. But I still do not want to see Patrick Patterson on the court again. Patrick Patterson, after we signed Boogie, his role should be bench guy, unless getting minutes because of injuries. because we got the third center we need, so we should be good. So stop playing Patrick Patterson, Ty Lue. DeMarcus Cousins, in his debut as a Clipper, had 7 points, was 3 or 4 from the field, had 4 rebounds and 2 assists. What more can you ask from DeMarcus Cousins? Listen, I don't know what the future will entail for DeMarcus Cousins. I'm guessing if he keeps playing pretty productive, he'll probably get a second 10-day contract, and then the Clippers will more than likely sign him out for the rest of the season. Definitely, he did look good in his start with the Clippers. Very much impressed. His first impact play was getting an offensive rebound and converting that into a board, or converting those into points. And I'm like, okay, good. This is the third center we finally needed in terms of one of our centers going down. And I feel like honestly, I feel much more comfortable. And from the standpoint, okay, we got the third center. So barring any injuries, we can put Cousins in as the backup center. Or heck, say Serge or Zoo gets into foul trouble. And I said this in my DeMarcus Cousins, signing video. If Zoo or Ibaka gets, say, into foul trouble into the playoffs, hey, you can insert DeMarcus Cousins as a good guy, as a good, pretty skilled big to go in there and be like, hey, don't do too much. Just do what we need you to do. And that's kind of it. Just do the bare minimum and don't screw it up for the team, and stuff like that. Now, I think with the little minutes he's going to get, even if Ibaka comes back, it will make this team versatile in its own ways. But again, I feel like if DeMarcus Cousins, if he just is willing to buy into the team and stuff like that and put up some pretty good productive, stat lines and stuff like that, maybe down the road he can get maybe a contract from a team that will be willing to give him a chance for a full season and stuff like that. So good to see DeMarcus Cousins in a Clippers jersey do good. And again, like I said, it's shocking we see him in a Clippers jersey after all these years, because us Clipper fans know every time he was on the Sacramento Kings, he hated the Clippers with a burning passion. So yeah, Rondo, who I thought did a fairly decent job tonight. Again, you can clearly see when Rondo's in the game, the game is so much different. The pace is so much more pushed with Rondo maintaining the ball. He gets the guys into the spots, and he's doing a really, I would say, quality job. Again, the stat line, look, it's not going to be the most impressive. Reporters, it's not going to be like blown out Lou Williams type of stat lines we saw from years past for Lou Williams. But he'll do the little things to help this team get better. And that's all that matters to me. If he's doing the little things by clearly seeing that, okay, we're making this different, we're actually pushing the ball up the court, we're good. Okay. Nothing to, get mad about. And the reporters, not understanding what's going on and still being in their feelings about Lou Williams being gone. Listen, if the reporters love Lou Williams so much, they can go report on the Atlanta Hawks. Go right ahead. Again, in my eyes, I feel like the reporters have not given Rondo a fair shot yet. He's only been playing 2 games, and we don't know how this season's going to end for the Clippers. I've always said, if we lose in the playoffs in the second round again, okay, I'll agree and I'll eat my crow and say the move definitely was not worth it because it didn't change a damn thing. And stuff like that. I said I'll eat my crow if the move doesn't work out. Hopefully it does. It seems like Rondo's definitely doing it and having a little bit of, a spark to this team. Getting guys in the spots, making things easier. Reggie Jackson, another guy you could probably say who was the MVP of tonight. Again, his 23 points probably also helped us. Again, I want this guy's minutes to be decreasing, but at the same time, it's like, well, he's playing pretty good as of now. So hopefully Ty Lue doesn't fall into the whole Doc Rivers thing, and he does the whole aspect of, if you're not playing good, I'm not going to play you, and stuff like that. So he had 23 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 8 of 10 or 8 to 12 from the field. Hit 4 3-pointers. Listen, if Reggie Jackson gets minutes in the playoffs, okay. As long as he's being productive in those minutes, I'm fine. I'm fine. If he's being productive, if he's playing the best defense I can see him play, okay, I'll live with it. But if he's not doing anything offensively, and we already know his defensive struggles is literally, he has one of the worst defenses. Listen, Ty Lue, I expect you to pull him out and put in a Terrence Mann and be like, okay, see if you can give us a spark and stuff like that. But yeah, Terrence Mann got some minutes in this game. He only got 10 minutes. He had 2 points. Him and Kennard really didn't play much, and I know, and again, in my circle of Clipper fans, they were wondering where was Terrence Mann. And again, as I shift from the game to my other topic this video, is the rotations and how they're going to be handled. Now, center rotations, okay. When Ibaka comes back, DeMarcus Cousins in some moments can maybe get minutes, but I don't see him getting minutes if he's signed on for the rest of the team, for the rest of the season for the team. And he's gonna have to buy into that mentality. Just be ready when your name's called upon, just in case for a certain circumstance. And if he's willing to do that, I'm fine with that. Now, in terms of the guard rotation, because obviously that's gonna be the main thing, because we got Rondo, Beverly, Reggie Jackson, Kennard, and Mann. And we all knew when Beverly came back from injury, this was going to be the problem. Who do you go at with guard? Ty Lue in his press conference, it seems like, he's going to play that whole guard matchup with Kennard and Mann based on, I guess, a certain matchup or something like that. Listen, we'll have to see. That's going to be the interesting thing to look for. And again, the moves the Clippers been making, again, like I said, if some people weren't saying we were not deep to start off the season, well, we're definitely deep. Like, literally, this team could probably be a 12-man playoff rotation, to be honest. Again, we're just going to have to see what goes on, whose minutes decreases. And again, we all knew that the minutes would decrease. Then, this is why some reporters are going to get on people's cases who like the Rondo sign, be like, well, see, we told you, you guys wanted Rondo so bad, but guess what? Your boys, Mann and Kennard, aren't going to get no minutes now. Well, you got a fully guard rotation. And every Clipper fan in the world says, well, no shit, Sherlock. We know that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Ty Lue manages the rotations going forward in terms of the guard position. Like I said, I feel like definitely we'll see some interesting rotations, to say the least. But like I said, Reggie Jackson out of Rondo and Beverly should be the odd guards out. If Reggie Jackson is not doing good, try out Terrence Mann next in a few minutes. And if Terrence Mann isn't being really effective, then give Kennard a go. I knew this day would come where the guard rotation is going to be a difficult figure out. We're just going to have to see. And listen, like I said, if they don't end up getting minutes, okay, yeah, that's going to suck. But, we're going to see. If Reggie plays solid ball, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and be like, okay, he's just playing solid, and we got to accept that. As much as we want to see Mann and Kennard in the game. Definitely going to be interesting. And remember, guys, Reggie Jackson's a free agent after this year. So the Clippers could just let him walk and be like, okay, we want to focus on developing the future, which is Mann and Kennard. So we'll let Reggie walk, even though he's PG's boy, and let Mann and Kennard take that spot and stuff like that. But a solid win for the Clippers. Very much another solid win. We got the Suns coming up tomorrow, which, again, is another game we need to win in terms of standings. Because, hey, I think us Clipper fans need to be the biggest Jazz fans, as crazy as that sounds. The Jazz can beat the Suns tonight. It's only going to help us maybe get our chances to the second seed. And honestly, if it's looking like the fact that, hey, we get the second. It doesn't matter. As long as we can hold on the second or third seed, that's fine. I'm cool with that. If you're telling me Phoenix might be the second round matchup, honestly, to be honest, I'm fine with that. I feel like Phoenix, even though they got Chris Paul, would not be ready for that moment. because even though Devin Booker's killing it, he has never been in a playoff, and never been in the playoffs, especially, you know, the next following round in the playoffs. And I feel like hopefully we can, I guess, get over those demons of years past. And heck, it would be a rematch of the 06, you know, second round matchup of Clippers versus Suns. And hopefully, if that's the case, the Clippers come out on top compared to the 06 matchup when the Suns came up on top. Again, listen, good win. Definitely going to enjoy this one and take it. I'll probably do a game recaps on Thursday. Probably will go up Friday, depends how I feel. And yeah, but other than that, guys, yeah, again, like I said, sorry for not doing the game recap on Sunday. Again, I went to the Angels game. I'm debating if I should do Angels game recaps or Angels series recaps this year, for, you know, as just video purposes. If you guys are Clippers / Angel fans, put that in the comment section if you want to see that and you like where the Angels are going, because they are playing pretty good this year. I'm not getting my hopes up, but they're looking nice so far to start off the year. But I'll see. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll just find out in my free schedule. Anyways, that's kind of it. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on, you know, this game, as well as your thoughts on the rotations. How will Ty Lue handle the rotations going forward? As well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Clippers game recap content or anything, or any news going on in Clipper land. Anyways, guys, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.